Here we are then, back for another episode of the Aston Martin Road to Glory career mode here on F1 22. This is the beginning and the start of season number 2 as we look to hopefully climb and really take a real step forward this season to improve and challenge for the top positions. So, as you guys know, we are trying to take this team to the top of Formula 1 to try and win the championship. In the background, you can see the previous episode, the last race of Season 1 at Abu Dhabi. Go check it out if you haven't seen it, link in the top right. There are spoilers ahead, so this is your chance to click off the video, go check that one out and see what happened, especially with that beautiful one-off fluorescent yellow livery under the night skies in Yas Marina. Anyway, let's get into business and let's see what happened during the off-season and the end of Season 1. So we start off the post-season with a department event for the aerodynamics, and we're going to see exactly what that has in store for us and what that could possibly be. Usually we've only had marketing ones, so to have one for the aero is actually quite rare, and it's actually a charity commitment which we can accept or decline depending on what we choose. That will have a knock-on effect at some point in the future. But for this one, I chose to actually decline, and for the reason I think it might affect the team morale, which is something I don't want. So we're going to kind of take the high ground on that one and avoid that for now. In the last race, we had an ERS failure as it stayed on for a lap or so in Abu Dhabi. So we've got a few extra R&D points to burn, and we're going to go ahead and actually spend them on actual performance upgrades. So we'll go for the ERS status, as that's going to hopefully help us out and give us a bit more of a boost. Also, we're going to probably add to that, as we still have, or should still have, a few points left over to purchase, in this case, the combustion chamber, which is a little bit out of reach. So I came back a couple of days later once we had a few more points saved up, and we eventually purchased it. So we're going to have 2 upgrades on the engine, one for the ERS, one for the fuel performance, and hopefully they both arrive, and that will be off-season upgrades per se in this short window. Now though, time to renew our contract, and hopefully this goes well, because if this fouls, this whole series is pretty much in the mud. And yeah, we're gonna get our approach accepted by Aston Martin. We then sent off an offer with low risk, as I tried to do medium last season and it almost backfired, and the team are going to be happy to agree and sign us back up for another season. So happy days. And we can also look at the driver perks, which, to be fair, the downside of the contract we signed is that we actually cannot afford any of them, so not ideal. Now, funny enough, I mentioned, we only get marketing department events, and that's exactly what we got after that. So yeah, funny enough, that's how things always work out, and that's what we're going to take care of. So in this one, we got the option to appear in an advert, and I chose to actually disagree. And the reason for that is because we're going to get a nice extra 400 R&D points on top of what we already have. So it's a pretty obvious choice. I'm happy to take a bit of a hit in terms of the acclaim, as ultimately we're more invested in upgrades and trying to improve the car moving forward. So with those points, I went ahead and moved into the reliability section, and we're going to upgrade the MGUH, which actually unlocks an upgrade for the control electronics. The big issue though is both engine upgrades we purchased failed, which is a problem, a big problem, because it's going to cost us a bit to get that fixed. The first one you can see for the ERS is major, and we don't have enough points. So for now, I'm going to actually change course, and we're going to go back to that fuel upgrade, which is a minor one, and protect and purchase that for now. And hopefully we'll come back to the ERS one at a later date. Anyway, end of season. Officially, we're at the end of the road for this first year in Formula 1 in 2022. And you can see here we do level up to level 10 on driver acclaim after that. So making some progress. Confirmation, we finished P11 in the Drivers' Championship. Stroll, not a single point to his name, finishing down in P19 there, which is really poor from him. One thing that stood out to me though, if we look at the end of season results and the review, I didn't actually realise, it didn't feel that way, but I had 5 DNFs last season, which is pretty mental, to be fair. Not saying we could have challenged, for more positions, but I was a bit of a surprise when I saw that. I think I'm the driver who DNF'd the most last season, which is mental, so I've never really had that before, and a pretty surprising statistic. Besides that, some big results. Didn't quite get the podium, which was a shame, but we had 3 fourth place finishes. So hopefully this season can be the year we actually step onto the rostrum and get a couple of podiums. Here we go then, looking at the new calendar for season 2. We're going to keep it at a full 22 race season. However, Austria and Singapore drop out of the calendar, and replacing them are going to be Portimao as the third from last round of the season, and also China in round number 4. So yeah, trying to spice it up and being also fair. So one European race drops off, also one non-European race drops off the calendar, and we get a European one come back on and a non-European one also come back on. So we're keeping it fair and keeping it balanced, and I'm a big fan of this, to be fair. I think it's going to make for a bit of an interesting season, and also especially Portimao, the third from last race, that could be a very fun challenge, which I'm looking forward to. So yeah, hopefully you guys look forward to that one, and we can now move on to season 2. Here we are then, back in the office, a brand new season, the new car under wraps, and you can see we have quite a few facility upgrades inbound. There was actually a chassis one which arrived just before the season closed, and we've got 2 of them for the aero, which is great. Also, we've got 2 batches of weekly resource points coming in, so that's going to help us out quite a bit, and we can hopefully do some upgrades along with the car reveal on the 16th. Confirmation, Fernando Alonso has officially retired from Formula 1. That could shake up the driver market, which we'll get into in a moment. Here is the performance chart heading into season 2. So every team lost performance. Nobody was able to actually, hold on to their upgrades and keep performance, except for us. We actually took a very slight step forward at the, the off-season phase, and we're still second from, last, second from bottom, but we're a lot more competitive, and the gap to the top teams has closed quite a bit. So hopefully we can start the season off strong and get a couple of big upgrades on early on, including that failed ERS upgrade, and also push on with the aero and the chassis, and yeah, really make some big progress. Confirmation, the MGUK reliability upgrade has arrived, and also we went ahead and got confirmation of also that fuel upgrade for the efficiency. So that's good. We also got a whole bunch of R&D points after those weekly resources came through, and we went ahead and repurchased that failed ERS upgrade. So that's going to help us out and give us another little boost moving forward. Finally, here we are then, car reveal time. I'm looking forward to this one, guys. I did the best I could with how limited this car is in game, and yeah, hopefully you like it. There we have it then, the AMR 23, but this is my version and my take on the machine. So, Aramco, which is a title sponsor for this team, takes up an increasing stake in the team, therefore remapping some of the colour scheme to their colours and bringing the whole livery together with the dark green, also then the light green and the lime and the blue, just making it all really work together as one. Also, one thing that I had to change with this car was the wheel caps. They were so bland, so I had to give them a bit of a facelift and an update. Also, other details is the nose of the car. We've got a bit of like a darker, lighter pattern, like a jagged edge going on. We've kept the finish, which I love, the metallic green, and we've also brought back the classic Aston Martin logo from about 20 years ago, which I think just looks really nice and clean and has that kind of chrome polished finish to it. As you can see, there is the new nose, which looks awesome, and the new logo on the side of the car. And yeah, overall small adjustments, but they go a big way, and I think the lime green and also the sky blue work really well with the kind of base coat paint of this car. So big fan of this one. Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments, and we're now going to jump into the rest of the cars and also their driver lineups and what happened during the off season. So yeah guys, if you like it, like, subscribe, it means a lot and it shows me you like it, and let's get into it. So here we are, kicking things off with your world champions Ferrari. You might notice a theme. Every single livery is essentially inspired by the new Real Life 2023 season, but with a few modifications and changes just to kind of make it my own personal career mode taste. Anyway, Ferrari looking awesome. Big fan of the kind of tweaks and the updates, and of course Charles Leclerc, your world drivers champion. They've kept their lineup with Sainz as his teammate and no changes for the Scuderia. Next up we have the runners-up, Red Bull Racing, and they have a revised livery with also new wheel caps. Verstappen and Perez still driving for them and no big changes for them in this season. We then move to the Black Arrows, Mercedes-Benz, and they have of course gone for a fresh dark livery, bringing back the black, and also as for their driver lineup, they're also running it back with Lewis and George. No changes so far in the top 3 teams. We then go Papaya as we look at McLaren, and they have a fresh updated livery, title sponsor on the side pod, and just a few tweaks and updates to their overall paint scheme. Also, their driver lineup is exactly the same, with Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo still driving for the Woking team. This is when things get interesting. Fernando Alonso retired from Formula 1 at the end of last season, and there is a vacant seat which has been filled by none other than Nicholas Latifi for Alpine. So very surprising choice, and you're going to have Ocon and Nicholas Latifi driving for them in Season 2 with this new livery. After that would be our car on the list, but you've seen it already, so we're going to jump into Haas, which of course have the MoneyGram logo and updates in place for the new season. Big fan of the livery, big fan of the darker kind of black paint scheme, and this car looks quick. As for the lineup, exactly the same. Also, Kevin Magnussen and Mick Schumacher driving for the American team. We now move to the other team that was also our rival last season, AlphaTauri, with the new 23 inspired livery, and also driving for them Pierre Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda. So again, no change, and to be fair, that is the common theme on the grid. At the moment, there's only a vacancy at Williams, which is in question. And here we are then, Williams, with also a revised livery, updates for the new season. For them, Alex Albon is their main driver, and they have called up the help of a certain German 4-time world champion, Sebastian Vettel, who returns to Formula 1, and essentially Alonso out, Sebastian in what is pretty much a reverse of what happened in the Real Life 23 season. Sebastian steps in and is going to be forming a pretty formidable lineup alongside Albon for Williams. So they're going big and they're going all in Season 2. And finally, the team that finished bottom of the table, Alfa Romeo, with Valtteri Bottas and Zhou Guanyu back again. Zhou, of course, will be excited to have his home Grand Prix on the calendar. Their livery based off Real Life with the black and also the scarlet red. And there is a lot, guys. I'm not sure exactly which day episode 1 is going to drop. It could be Thursday or Friday. I'll see how it goes. Either way, hopefully you're excited. Hopefully this kind of whets your appetite for the new season. I can't wait, and it's going to be big with the changes in place to just make things a bit fresh. And also, I'm just excited to hopefully push forward and really upgrade and make this car stronger, better, faster. If you guys enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe for more, guys, as we're going to go and get racing in Season 2. I'm on the road to 100k, so any help would massively help me out. As always, a big shout out to you guys for watching. Also, a big shout out to Slendis for the majority of the car liveries, which I basically just tweaked, but they're all his own work. Also to Johnny for the McLaren, and then also once again Slendis for the track sponsor balls, which you'll see in the actual race episodes. But as always, a big shout out to the members for supporting the channel. Check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already, and I'll see all of you for round 1 in Bahrain. Until then, take care, and it's goodbye from me.